Thank you. There's actually kind of no internet in this presentation, which I kind of overlooked when I reserved this. Okay, so this is about horse racing. And as a disclaimer, I'm by no means an expert in horse racing. I've just been a handful of times with my friends, and I've noticed some interesting and weird things about the world of horse racing, so I thought I would share them. So what do we already know about horse racing? So they're horses, and they're given funny names, and they run around in a race. The owner of the winning horse gets a lot of money. Perhaps we've heard urban legends about what happens to the losing horses. And as we all know, there's betting involved. Now, next to the lottery and eating at White Castle, horse betting is the most common form of gambling in the U.S. And there's all sorts of bets you can make, and they go from simple to complicated. So the most simple ones, you can pick a horse and say, this horse is going to win. You can pick a horse to place, which means you collect if the horse comes in first or second. And the most conservative bet is you say, okay, look, this horse will come in somewhere in the top 3. So that's a simple version. And at many tracks, the minimum bet is $1. So you could go with your friends, and you could lose every single race all day long, and you're only out $10, which for an afternoon of entertainment actually isn't all that bad, particularly if you bring refreshments. So there's a lingo too, like when you go to the cashier and you want to make your bet, you know, they don't know the horses' names and they don't care. You have to give them the number of the horse, how much you're betting, and what you think is going to happen with that horse. You can also get kind of fancy. So you can bet on an exacta where you predict which horse comes in first and which horse comes in second, or the trifecta where you pick the first 3 horses in order. Very hard to hit these. It obviously is, you know, fairly hard to predict, but if you do, there's a big payout. This is a friend of mine who won a bunch. It can get even more complicated if you throw in boxing, where you're basically saying, instead of predicting the exact order, you're trying different combinations of orders, but you say, these 3 horses will finish in the top 3 in some sort of an order. So you're basically betting on a lot of different combinations, and there's lots of different ways to do that. Your payoff, when you go do this, is inversely proportional to the perceived likelihood of the outcome. So the more unlikely the betting population thinks something is, the more the payout is. They have a board where they show you the odds, right? And the horse number's in white, and the number immediately to the right are the odds. So the number 2 horse is 20 to 1, and the number 3 horse is 13 to 1. The higher the number, the more unlikely it is that that horse is perceived to win. But where do these odds come from? They basically come from the betting patterns of people. There are experts who make kind of recommendations, but really it's just a bunch of people standing around deciding, well, I think that horse might do well, or I think that horse might do well. And they have systems and stuff. But, you know, in blackjack, there's 4 kings in a deck, and they're all worth 10 points. It's a little more deterministic. With this, you're really just still dealing with a horse, and it's kind of unpredictable. So it's hard to have a foolproof system. Much like the financial markets, right? Because a company is only worth what the market decides it's worth. It's a bunch of people standing around going, well, look at that thing. I think they'll have a good product, and they're worth a lot of money. But it's guesswork. Much like the stock market, there's a lot of data to back up all this stuff, but the data only takes you so far because underlying everything, there's this unpredictable element. This is data about all the horses this horse has ran and the weather when he ran and his lineage. Now you can go experience this in New York City. In Queens, there's a racetrack called Aqueduct Racetrack. You can get there on the A train, and it is a weird, weird place. It's got this enormous sense of faded glory, where it was once a destination, and now it is slightly less hip place to hang out than Port Authority bus terminal. It is basically a dive bar the size of a stadium. And I just love this aesthetic about it so much that I shot a music video there with some friends. And in doing so, I realized that as long as you're not messing with the horses, nobody cares what you do. So if you have a project that involves, like, you need a lot of space or you're going to make a lot of noise, you want to have a rave or something, try it out. So a couple more miscellaneous related topics. Around the city there are OTBs where you can bet on horses via simulcast video screen. To me this misses a whole lot of the aesthetic because it's not really the betting that I like, it's the whole ambiance, if that makes any sense. And the other variant of this, around the city you'll find harness racing, where they basically attach a chariot to the horse and he trots around, which seems to me like going to see the Dallas Cowboys play touch football. It's like a half measure, which isn't really that fun. So anyway, the video I made, That I shot the horse track is on postedtheveryappealing.com along with other funny, fun projects. And you can find the video and watch it. And thanks.